Do you expect the bye to be better for the teams 5 to 8 or for teams 1 to 4?
No, I think across the board you're going to see probably a higher standard through availability of personnel. 3 or 4 clubs, whether they're Sydney or us, are going to get some good players available because of the bye. So maybe the standard and the selection process might be a little bit cleaner.
So does that make it a good thing?
I think for the standard of the game on the comp, it may be, but whether it's worth doing again, that'll be up for debate.
Have you bothered to watch the Bulldogs game against Fremantle?
Have I bothered to watch it? Serious? Yeah, I came and watched the game, and Freo were good. Put good pressure on the game, and the Doggies were slightly off. So I will take something from every game we watch.
Slightly off because they didn't have a heap to play for, do you think, or just slightly off because I think in the last 6 weeks they're 50-50. Are they going downhill, or do you think that was just a one-off game for them?
They've been resilient all year, so I thought Fremantle played a pretty good brand. We'll be looking at the Bulldogs at their best, so we're not assuming anything other than what they've done. They beat us last time we played them, and they've been so resilient all year. I'm sure they're going to throw the kitchen sink at us.
At their best would mean Stringer back in. You expect him to come back in, Messi to come back in?
Well, it's early days, isn't it? But I would have thought there might be 4 or 5 changes from the Bulldogs, and all probably for the better. So, anticipate a pretty strong side.
They're a bit smaller. How does that affect how you structure up, particularly behind the ball?
Yeah, we'll have to look at that. We played the Hawks a few weeks ago, and they quite a small forward line in particular. So we'll have to look and adjust to that. But I think we'd probably just play our starting back 6 at the moment, but especially after the performance they put in last week. But we'll have to look at that. We haven't even had proper match committee on that yet.
So, some clubs, I think, are giving players the weekend off. Did you think it was important to train on Saturday?
Well, with the game on Thursday, the game's in 7 days, so we put our break in earlier in the week. So if it was a Sunday game, I think we'd look at that. So we'll train every second day, and we've had a few days off up until today. So I think it's a similar. We played, I think it might have been Essendon on a Thursday night over here, and we just went back to that program.
There's a lot of good midfielders in the comp. Where does Luke Shuey sit in that group now, do you think?
Well, I think his year's been exceptional. He's taken another step. So his leadership in particular, it's stuff you probably don't see, but he's in our leadership group. He's a quality person, and I think now he's really starting to deliver on field to the point where it's gone to another level, no doubt. So whether he makes All-Australian or not, you find out tonight. But I think he's probably considered one of the better midfielders in the comp now.
Would he be winning your best and fairest, do you reckon?
I've got no idea. We've got some players who've had pretty good seasons, so I'd say he'd be up there.
The use of his hands in recent weeks, and particularly against Adelaide on Friday night, he's often been a breakaway player, use the ball by foot fairly decisively.
Yeah.
50, but he was getting you clear of stoppages. Is that something you think that he's improved significantly in the back half of the season?
That's a good question. I think across the board, probably our midfielders have improved in that area a little bit. The ability to bring others into the game has been important for us in the last 5 or 6 weeks. So he's hard to tackle. And so is Pritter as well. So with those guys in there, obviously you want to take some ground sometimes, but if they can bring others into the game, that's important as well. And the best team in the comp doing that is the Bulldogs. So we've got a challenge on our hands to stop that as well.
Just back on Giles, he's received a lot of fanfare after his game. How's he handled it all?
He's taken in his stride. He was pretty excited going into the game last week. I could tell he was up for it. So obviously his challenge now is to back it up. And I think he likes the responsibility, which is a really good sign. He likes the pressure. It'll be another level next week. So I don't think he's going to get carried away with himself, no.
Just looking from afar, he seems to have that quirky age where he could be a cult hero. Like, is that?
Maybe.
How do you see it?
He keeps playing like that, he will. Yeah. Look, he's a great story for us. Obviously, through the adversity that we've hit with our ruck stocks, for someone like that to jump up and grab the game from the scruff of the neck was really good for him, but even more so better for us. So, yeah, look, he's just part of our side at the moment, and I'm sure that's what he's happy to do.
And being at his fourth club, do you sense that he's hungrier than maybe a lot of other players are who might just...
Oh, look, he knows where he's at. With when we got him over, it was to be a bit of a backup for us, and with his age profile and obviously what we had available, he knew his order, but that wasn't to say he couldn't push his way in. And he's played 3 games for us this year, and we're going to need him more than ever next week.
Simo, does Nick Nab have any role with you during the finals, or do you just let him do what he has to do with his man?
Oh, he'll play a small role, yeah, but he's off his legs for a while, so you know, we'll see how he pulls up the next few days, but I don't think he'll be moving around too much. So, but he'll have an opportunity to talk to the players pretty soon.
Have you had a chance to speak with him?
Oh yeah.
Is he good?
As good as can be. Yeah, you know, these things hit home probably about now, don't they? When you realise you're not going to be available for the final series and for a big chunk of next year as well. So, you know, it's not the first guy to go through a knee reco, but it's definitely hard to handle.
And when you say he'll talk to the players, what's that?
Oh, don't read too much into that. Just talk to the players. Don't put that in the headline.
Yeah.
It'll just be he's part of our club and part of our group, and the next phase for him is to come back and say good day to his mates.
Adam, Shannon Hearn plays his 200 next week. There's a potential it could get swallowed up. He's the type of guy that seems to fly under the radar. What's he meant to you as a coach and to this group?
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't worry about the fact that it's his 200th next week at all. It's a great milestone to achieve, but when it comes to finals, there's priorities. And look, he's obviously the captain of our club. He's had a really good season. You know, I think last year had to handle a lot. First year as captain, and to make it to a grand final under his watch and his guidance and leadership was really important for us. So he's evolved as a captain. Obviously, his presence outside of the club may be perceived as a little bit different, but he's really important for our leadership and where we're going in developing our leadership. He's been a real asset for me, but more importantly, our players.
What about his value as a weapon for kick-ins? It seems like a lot of the comp don't seem to realise how advantaging he could be.
Well, you know, you get your best kicks to take the kick-ins, and I think, you know, you look at a Suckling for the Bulldogs as well. It's an important part of the game. It's not the main part, but to have someone like him rebounding off the half-back line for us is really important. You know, a lot of players back in the day would tag a rebounding defender. It's probably gone out of the game a little bit, but there's more and more skill now in the back half than ever, and he'd probably help pioneer that.
You've probably got 3 or 4 back there now that can use the ball fairly incisively, haven't you? Shepherd, Cam, McGovern can, and obviously Shannon can. So really, it would probably be pointless tagging one of yours anyway. It would just free the other 2 up more.
Well, you know, it's just not in the game at the moment. Not to say it won't happen next week and we won't do it, but at the moment there is more than just one player that can do it. So, and I think you need your 6 forwards to get to work in other areas as well. So, yeah, I mean, the skill level in the back half, I think, across the whole competition has improved.
You're taking out your ladder position. Do you feel like you've got the right group in the right to take a real run at this, given what you've done over the last month?
Oh, look, we've hit some good form, there's no doubt, and there's some real belief amongst our players, and we've kept things pretty simple the last 5 weeks, so we're in the right headspace for the final series. It's going to be a really challenging final series for us, and no more so than next week. So our priority is next week. Can we go all the way? All those questions that get asked, that our number one focus is the Bulldogs next week, and I think that's going to be a real challenge in itself.
Thank you.
All right, thanks guys. Cheers.